Hello, everyone, and welcome to a different kind of show the Writing Community Chat Show is presenting to you today. It's very much a brief little instruction video for something that may help a lot of new authors, especially if you're getting into writing and have a little issue with sentence structure, perhaps, or just clearing things up a little bit. And what I'm going to show you is an app that I've used previously, and it wasn't when I first started writing I used this. It was a bit later on in the process, and I found out that it really helped. So what I've got is something called the Hemingway app, and if you're not familiar with this, it's basically a web browser application. You don't need to download anything. It's absolutely completely free, and the fantastic thing about it for me is that it kind of clarifies and simplifies a lot of your text and your sentences. So if you think that you have a little bit of an issue, or you might actually not think that you do, and perhaps that you actually do have one, then this is a great way just to copy and paste your text into this browser, and it will inform you how kind of tricky it is to read your work. So give me a second and I will show you. So Hemingway App Editor, again, if you type it into your browser, you'll see, and I'll leave links in the description for this. Okay, there is no affiliate with this at all. We're not sponsored by this program. It's just something that I think could really help a lot of new writers, especially. And for a lot of writers who don't know about it, it's kind of cool just to drop your text in and see what it comes up with. So up on the screen there, you will see this is what comes up when you're typing Hemingway app into any browser. So it comes up with the application stroke editor. Now, all this is, you can see across the top here, this is the exact screen that comes up when you enter it. Bold, italic, you've got all your different fonts and things like that there. And basically, Hemingway app, it's got a big instruction thing on the front of this. And when you get into this, of course, there's social links there. You can just delete all this stuff, but it does instruct you how to do that first. On the right-hand side, top tabs, you've got write and edit. And of course, this is the edit section. If you want to press write, it just comes into a blank document page like you would writing. And then your edit side there. So Hemingway editor, readability, good, grade 8. Now, this is like an American grade system. For me, coming from the UK, it confused me, but I understand it now. And obviously, the aim of this app is to take your readability grade from a higher level down to an earlier level. Now, there is the tendency and a bit of a risk at oversimplifying your text, and I'll go into that in a minute, but just stick with it. And it tells you your word count and your adverbs. Aim for 3 or fewer. Passive voice, simpler alternatives there, and sentences are either hard to read or very hard to read. And so if you go to the main text here, the app highlights lengthy, complex sentences and common errors. If you see a yellow sentence, shorten it or split it. So that's basically, if it's yellow, it may be just a bit complicated for some people. Like a grade 8, this is sort of, I guess, middle schoolish. If you see red, that means that it's complicated, and say like a younger person would generally struggle to read that sentence. And then it comes up with these things here. So an alternate phrase, utilize, and you can just click on use if you really want to do that. So you can use it, just change it quite a simple word. But below, as I said, you can just delete this and put in, copy and paste your text from Word document or whatever it is that you use to write your manuscript with. And you just paste it in there. So I've done a few sentences below. So I'll delete all this stuff, Hemingway. So when I've used this before, I copied my text, I delete all this, clear it off, and then paste my own text, which I've written some stuff out. So an example, the Writing Community Chat Show is such an amazing podcast show, as it really does help indie authors expose their work. Now, good shameless plug there. So grade 11, it says, it's okay, aim for grade 9 or below. So this is based on the 3 sentences that I've written there. 2 adverbs, aim for 1 or fewer. 1 of 4 sentences is hard to read, or 1 of 4 is very hard to read. So to simplify this yellow one here, it is very simple. The Writing Community Chat Show is such an amazing podcast show, full stop. And then obviously you would just change your text to say, it really does help indie authors expose their work. So that is just drop the grade, and it has made that a white sentence, which is clear to read and easy to read. Now, of course, in writing fiction work, you want some sentences to be a bit challenging. So this is where I said at times you don't want to overcomplicate things, or in this case, simplify things too far, because you want to leave a bit of depth in your sentence structure, but it is great for highlighting certain things. So if only Christopher Hooley had agreed more with Christopher Aggett that pineapple does indeed belong on pizza, then everyone would be happier. Okay, that's a difficult sentence to read by all accounts. So if only Christopher Hooley agreed more with Christopher Aggett that pineapple does indeed belong on pizza. One sentence. Everyone would be happier. So it does make your work a bit more to the point, which is good sometimes. And again, that sentence is still a bit chunky, but I think that's perfectly fine. And this has gone now from okay to good there. So that's suggesting that it reads well instead of okay, which is okay is not great, is it? And then that sentence in terms of a more fluent one at the bottom. If Christopher Hooley agreed with Christopher Aggett, everyone would be happier, despite his clearly wrong thoughts on the subject. So, Mr. Hooley, we had a good discussion about tea on Twitter this morning. Yorkshire tea apparently is the one to go for, according to him. And now simplifying that again is dropped it down. So the only thing it's highlighting there is 2 adverbs, aim for 1 or fewer. That really depends on how big your story is and what you're writing. So I think this is a great little tool for writers that are starting out, that really want to look at their work a bit more. And again, it doesn't prompt you really how to simplify those sentences. So you've got to kind of trial and error, and you've got to learn as you go along, and which in any sort of writing, you really should be doing that anyway. So there it is, guys. Hemingway app. I will leave the description notes and the link to this, or you can just search it. But I think it's a great tool, and it definitely should be used. So if you want any more advice like this, please go to the writingcommunitychatshow.com and have a look at our website. There is plenty of stuff on there. There's writers' resources and people that can help you out. I think this is a fantastic tool, and there are plenty of others on there too. So check it out and support the show. Thank you for tuning in, and subscribe to our YouTube, please. See you guys.